Good evening, everyone. Thank
Good
you
evening.
for joining us this evening. This is the Orange 2020 Mayoral Candidates Forum. And we thank you all for joining us. We thank the candidates who are here this evening, and we thank those of you who are listening in. My name is Becky Doggett, and I will be serving as one of the moderators for this evening. I also happen to be a founding member of the board of HUUB, one of the sponsors for tonight's forum. And my co-moderator, Naeema, introduce yourself, please.
Sure. Hi, I'm Naeema Campbell. I am a former longtime resident of Orange. I grew up on Hawthorne Street, and I've hosted the Mayoral Forum in the past with Radical Orange.
If you want to hear some real ancient history, I was very active in the first city council and mayoral candidacy back in 1960. So you can tell I've been around a long time. But anyway, we have three organizations that are sponsoring this evening's forum. The HUUB, which is the urban ministry program of the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Essex County, which is located on Cleveland Street in Orange. The HUUB offers its buildings and programs to identify, mobilize, and support efforts to improve the quality of life in the city of Orange. The second sponsor is University of Orange. University of Orange is a free people's urbanism school. The University of Orange utilizes the talents and expertise of local people to sponsor their courses and programs. And the third sponsor, Radical Orange. Radical Orange was formed by young residents in Orange who wanted their political voice and advocacy represented in the city. In fact, they sponsored the last mayoral debates 4 years ago. And the organization believes that by encouraging youth civic engagement and activism, young people can bring positive change to our city and the larger world. These three organizations have been working together to provide candidates forums in the city of Orange over the last 5 years, and we are proud to continue doing so through the technology that now makes it possible for us to have this forum in spite of the pandemic and the distancing that we must now observe. And now I'm going to ask Naeema if she will explain the process for tonight's forum.
Yeah. Before we get to that real quickly, one of the candidates has suggested we have a 15-second moment of silence for the residents who we've lost due to this pandemic, COVID, and we just wanted to pay our respects. So just hold a moment for them. All right, so thank you. Really glad you could all make the time to join us and talk and have this forum. The forum is this will be the protocol: 1 minute for an opening statement, 3 minutes for each question, and then a 2-minute closing statement. I will provide a vocal and visual 30-second warning. And then once your time is up, Charlie will mute you. We just want to be fair to make sure everyone's time is shared equally and that we respect the time that we all allotted for this. Oh wait, one of our candidates disappeared. Where'd she go? I'll wait till Ms. Hunter gets back before we jump into the first question.
Okay.
Yeah. And it looks like we have one other person joining as well. Charlie,
while we're waiting, I can mention that for tonight's forum, we will not have time for the live audience questions, but any questions and comments that you have they will come into the event stream, and they will be organized and shared with the candidates after the forum. And then we can share those responses on the HUUB's Facebook page and this event's page in the coming days. So if you have questions, we will ask the candidates to answer them, and then we will post them so that those of you who ask questions can hear what the candidates had to say about your questions. One very important piece of information we wanted to share with the audience is that this year's election will be by voting by mail. The polling places will not be open because of the virus, but by now you should have received in the mail, if you're a registered voter, you would have received your ballot. You fill that ballot out and you mail it back. It's all postage paid, and you mail it back to the county by May the 12th, election day. The other thing that's very important, please pay attention. I know we're used to getting the sample ballots in the mail, but this is the real ballot for voting on who you want to vote for mayor. So take a minute, look at it, and make sure you fill it out and return it by the deadline. But that's a very important service so that people will not have to worry about going out and being exposed unnecessarily. So Naeema, do you want to talk a bit about the census also while we're making public service announcements?
Oh, yeah. So as we know, this year is a really important year, the 2020 census, and it's really important that everyone be counted. Historically, Orange has been an undercounted city, and that means we don't get our fair share of allocations. The numbers that are reported just don't capture how many people actually live here. So we need everyone to fill out the census and return it. The questionnaire is really simple. Because of this public health crisis, the Census Bureau is not necessarily going to be coming to our doors as much as they would have right away. They have extended the time to send back your form, but when you get that notice in the mail, please go on the website or fill out the paper form because we need everyone to be counted.
All right, we'll go to the Naeema.
We will have opening statements, starting with Mr. Morton.
And Mr. Morton has not joined us yet, nor has Mr. Baptiste. So the next person is Donna K. Williams.
Good evening, everybody. And it's a blessing and an honor to be here. Let me begin by sending my condolences to all who've been affected and lost loved ones to COVID. Thank you for that, more 15 minutes. Let me also thank all of you who prayed for me during my, as I deal with my mom and as I have come through COVID, and thank you for the many words of kindness. As you may know, and those who don't know, my name is Donna K. Williams, and I am asking everyone to cast their vote for an honest, fair, critical thinker, and yes, an ethical leader, and to be your first female mayor of the city of Orange Township. This is not a time for negative mailers or politics as usual. This is a time to reimagine, to collaborate, and rebuild the community we love so much. This pandemic has brought my 12-year People First agenda to the forefront. My legislative initiatives focused on economic, civil, and human rights are even more critical now to creating an equitable and just environment for our great city.
That's time, Donna. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, our next person will be Ms. Hunter.
Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
My name is Shawn Hunter, and I'm running from there because I want transparency, responsible, and accountable Orange, the answer to its residents, and not to special investors or developers. The city has a great potential, which has been crippled by full-time corruption, high and intoxicated plus unexperienced family members. This situation led to FBI investigation with convictions. We deserve a city with good return of investment for your dollars. Consideration of all residents. This is why Shawn Hunter is running for mayor.
The next person to give an introduction, Councilman Jackson.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Christopher Jackson. I'd like to thank the Orange Hub for continuing to be a leader in the community and providing an opportunity for citizens with our COVID-19 quarantines to be able to see the choices that they have in running for this particular, the office of mayor for the city of Orange Township. I'm a Orange native, product of Orange Public Schools. I'm running to bring more integrity and for my love of Orange. I think I can be a unifying force as we will be stronger so long as we have each ward, the administration, the council, and the citizens working together to bring progress to Orange going forward. It is a very important town, and we need to project that as a unified force, providing unified focus as we move forward in the 21st century. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And last, we have current Mayor Ward. You have 1 minute.
Good evening, and thank you for this forum to Radical Orange, to the HUUB, and to University of Orange. This is an important measure that we take so all of our citizens will know who they're choosing in their government. I come to you with 30 years of legal experience, having served in every capacity in municipal government. I was the municipal court judge. I served with the city council as a legislative research officer. I have advocated on the state, federal, and county level for the city of Orange Township and brought a measure of change. If you drive around the city of Orange, you'll see change all about, you'll see progress. We have folded our children into our progressive agenda, our senior citizens, our homeowners, and we've provided an opportunity for all people to live in Orange. You'll see housing across the spectrum so that we all may be involved in Orange's change. Now, more than ever, we need experienced leadership, and this is not the time for inexperienced people or people who don't have the knowledge base that we do. And we want to stay in it so that Orange can complete its transformation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. There will be 3 questions asked of each of the candidates tonight, and I'll start with the first question. The question is, to create a healthy environment for children requires good food, stable shelter, employment, and safe streets. What is your platform for creating such a healthy environment? And Naeema will call on the candidates.
We were saying earlier that we chose the order by random generator. So Mayor Warren, you will go first for this question, and you have 3 minutes.
Thank you. Resources like food and new opportunities for nutrition are essential to the growth of our children in our community. And certainly we've done that with new supermarkets, with the expansion of our voucher program for our farmers market, with opportunities for children to have summer lunch program and breakfast program. These things we've done across each area of the administration. Housing is available in Orange for every sector of the economy, whether it be low-income housing all the way to luxury affordable housing. It is in the market that we created in the city of Orange Township. Another element of our progress in Orange and this safe haven for children is we have beefed up our police force with technology, with services, with personnel. And we've also looked at re-entry and prevention of crime as well for our citizens. One of the key things that we did was applied for and was awarded a grant for the Safe Routes to School program. We have $1 million that we have put into making sure the safe routes to school for our children each and every day. We fought for and received 4 opportunity zones in Orange so that parents who have economic opportunities and children have summer employment opportunities as well. We've gone across the board, every part of the spectrum in terms of quality of life, and have addressed that for our children. They're better for it. I was one of the vocal voices and movers and shakers behind a new STEM academy for the city of Orange Township. So now we are forward thinking. We're preparing our children to be in a job market that is ready for our future. And with this coronavirus epidemic, Orange is going to come out of it stronger, better, and more equipped for our children and our families to succeed.
Thank you. The next person to answer we've selected is Mr. Jackson. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you very much, Naeema. In terms of how we can move forward, my platform, I see in the question, it talks about good food, stable shelter, employment. I hear inferred bad food, unstable shelter, unemployment, and safe streets. And in order to resolve those kind of issues, I think the development of a mechanism where it is not just responding to specific circumstances, but the development of something that has to go with ongoing monitoring, code enforcement, with the Board of Health, the medical officers watching how we have good food. We have several supermarkets where people can access good food. I don't think Orange is at all a food desert like some towns. And we have supermarkets that people utilize every day within walking distance of their homes. When it comes to stable shelter, I think we have a lot of old housing stock where you may have landlords who are not appropriately doing repairs, they're not serving their tenants properly, and there are elements of our municipal government that we can activate in order to serve any issues that arise. One of the big things about how we might provide services is clearly identifying what the needs of the people are, and that would require that we would enlarge our communication with the community, give them a resource that they know when they call in, that there will be an effective response in a timely manner, and we hold the people accountable for taking action on those concerns. So as I talk about it, a platform necessarily, it's a unified focus in the best interest of Orange, where people understand in municipal government that we have an obligation to identify the needs by increasing our communication with the community, strategize about solutions once we identify those needs, and take actions of resolution so that we can inform those people who have violation, whether it be code enforcement, and also provide reports to the community so that they know what we've done and have some debrief with those citizens who have been served. So it's a matter of implementing a process to respond to these issues rather than having one particular platform where we tell them what they are going to be getting. Communication with the community, moving forward with strategies for a resolution, and then taking action while debriefing and reporting to the community about what we've done. That's what I would do.
Thank you. That was really helpful. Thank you. Next, we will move on to Councilwoman Williams. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you very much. You know, leaders have a responsibility to create a vision and help define what success looks like. A healthy environment requires an integrated and holistic approach to governing our beautiful city. So what I didn't get to finish saying in my openings, that I'm born and raised. The hospital site, which is a big project that's coming up online in everybody's forethought. I was born at that hospital. So if you guys go along with me for a part of my 3 minutes and close your eyes or just go with this story. I can remember, I'm the youngest of all of my siblings. So I can remember my oldest brother coming in, and at the high school right now, you see a building that says the Jesse Miles building. But I can remember my oldest brother coming in and talking about his coach, Jesse Miles, putting him in on his teammates and going on a 24 bus and going to Madison Square Garden. As a young preteen, I can remember of recreation department with Alma Clay and Kraft Hannibal were creating programs, and they were collaborations with the Valley Settlement, the different Ys, and all the programs. And as a same pre-teenager who grew up near Walter G, I can also remember playing in the pool and seeing the teenagers preparing for their night trips with these shirts that said different strokes for different folks. And it was a part of a program called the Hope Factory. And I couldn't wait to become a teenager so I can go to Bertrand's Island on Great Adventures after nightfall. As a person who became older and a city council member, I got to participate back in 2008 when I was elected in the youth games, which took our young people out of Orange and took them to collegiate towns or to Disney World to participate in an athletic and an academic program. But maybe those babies would have never left and they got to travel. And it inspired me to create a program where I take students, even today, down to DC to participate with legislators. And they get to impact on legislation that impacts their town. So those are things that I lived in that Orange gave to me, and as your mayor, I will give back to you. I will implement a plan for each department and branch the city to work closer together. Some people turn this
30 seconds.
Some people turn this as integrative and collaborative. I will close with, it takes a village to raise a child, and your mayor is creating that village where we're going to raise everybody up and create the Orange that some know and that others will come to love. Thank you.
Thank you. The last person to answer this question will be Ms. Hunter. You have 3 minutes.
To answer the question, I feel that we can utilize the schools and churches to provide a safe place for aftercare programs, tutoring, assist with homework, and recreation. The administration to work with the relationship with the new Board of Education members. In regard to the safe streets, we should have better lightings on the streets due to aftercare activities. Also providing a bus for children to live that lives on the other side of the city. And about employment, my option for the summer is to give the kids a real life experience working, hopefully in their field of interest. Furthermore, hire children who live in the city, not outside of Orange, as the current mayor usually do. As far as good eating habits, we want to focus on healthy food. Thank you.
Thank you.
For our second question, how do you see Orange emerging from this period of managed retreat and economic shutdown?
All right, the first person to answer this question will go to you, Councilman Jackson, and you have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Naeema. I see Orange as emerging strong. There's a lot of strong people here. We're from around the world and also migrating from the South. Our parents who we make them strong in Orange. So I think positively that we will be stronger, but it really depends on what kind of leadership we have. If I am the mayor, then certainly we can find some benefit from this COVID-19 difficulty we're going through. To think about the possibility of we have an opportunity to unify at a different level. In that the COVID-19, whether we like it or not, has unified us by not playing favorites. Everyone can be affected, and we have all been affected regardless of socioeconomic status, what we look like, or where we come from. This is a worldwide event. So what I'd like to see happen moving forward is that we exemplify a town that will arise from the difficulty by having more unity between the administration and the council, that we will give an opportunity for citizens to play a larger role in government and to claim government as maybe they never have by adding to the participation, broadening their participation on commissions and boards throughout the town, and also for us to understand what we need to teach children about that. Some of us who have been through a lot by example, can show children just how some things are out of your control sometimes, and you can respond in a positive way, and it can be an empowering event. I'm one of those who believes that all that we suffer is made individually for us, that we won't get more than we can manage, and that we have to find a positive effect from each experience as an opportunity for us to show our strength. So I see Orange moving forward in a positive way, and the person who is a leader for Orange can unify not only as I said, the council, the administration, the citizens, but also the constituents of the candidates who are supporting each of us. We can also identify them in a different way. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The next person to answer, Councilwoman Williams, this question, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you. Leaders must first define the I have to unmute it. Oh, I'm unmuted. I'm sorry. Leaders must first define the reality. It is not the crisis that defines us, but rather how we as leaders respond to that crisis. Many, including myself, and many near and dear to us, are traumatized by this pandemic called COVID. Orange will need to be rebuilt, starting from the physical and mental health of our neighbors who have been traumatized by the virus, the loss of life, and the loss of physical connections around us. At the same time, we must also address the economic fallout during and after COVID-19. While we look every day and the reports come in from our governor, we know right here, and even as Mayor Warren, you report, but they are close and near. Whether it's Darrell Harrington, our beloved Otis Saline, and others who I won't name because I'm not sure, but we have lost many people in the last 30 days. We need to rebuild. Many people here in Orange have been told their jobs or their businesses are non-essential and have been laid off or forced to close, and rightfully so, because safety first. I agree with Governor Murphy's executive order to close and to flatten the curve. As you know, I met COVID-19 personally. Trust me, while I don't have a lot of technical things to say, staying home right now for what we do know is the safest thing. And I'll add the personal thing. I know that the mail is coming to you, you're kind of sheltering in place and trying to stay at home, but you have to know, and we all know that moment of trusting ourselves and paying attention to your bodies. So in most cases, both, as a matter of fact, myself and my brother Anthony, who was here, had COVID. And he was able to take care of himself at home. I had to allow the great people of St. Barnabas to take care of me. So my message, my personal message from my experience is pay attention and trust your own instincts and pay attention as well. People must be able to conquer economic challenges by receiving the assistance needed from all levels of government, starting right here at 29 North Day Street down to Trenton.
30 seconds.
Okay, and all the way up to our 1600. We are going to need to rebuild one step at a time. Right now, there's a bill at the state that starts with something that may seem simple, but it's rental assistance. So as we recover, pay attention to our laws, pay attention to yourself, and let's work together to bring our town back. And there's 2 words I'll leave you with: restore and reimagine. Thank you.
Thank you. The next person, that question's to you, Mayor Warren. You have 3 minutes.
We're in the city of Orange Township through the worst pandemic in our history. And it is not an easy thing to do, but we stepped up and we led, from feeding people who were going hungry, to providing information, to comforting people, to giving advice, to going to those experts who know best to make sure that they advise our people, to collaborating with the governor on many of the executive orders and explaining how they fit into our city. We've been a leader on this, and it has not been easy. My heart goes out to the families who have lost and who have suffered through it. But I think that Orange's emergence from the pandemic is going to be marked by ingenuity, by growth, and by diversity. We have a number of people who are already in the technology field in our town that are going to burst on the scene with a new economic activity that begins to happen. I've started the mayor's coronavirus help desk, where you can get legal help for all issues, whether it be housing, jobs, economics, unemployment insurance. Those are key things that are affecting our families. But if we prepare now, we'll grow out of this stronger and better than we were. This pandemic can't keep us down, but we have to obey all of the regulations that have been put in place. Stay home, wear your mask, wear your gloves, clean your hands. These are things we have been talking about forever, because that's the only way that we're going to be guarded against any of the further effects of this pandemic. But Orange is a place that's situated very nicely. When the economic upturn comes, Orange will be there with our transportation hub, with our stock of personnel in technology and in other fields, with our children coming out of school being trained both at our high school and in our STEM school. We're going to be providing the brain power that's going to fuel this economy. It'll be more technology, as you see now. I think this is going to be a trend where there'll be less people-to-people meeting. There'll be more technology. We have to be at the forefront in terms of seizing it. Our small businesses in Orange have been the economic backbone for our town for a long time. We're working with each and every one of them to make sure they access the funds from the federal government, to make them stronger, to bring back their workers, and to give us a solid economy. All the development that's going to happen in our town is going to push forward. Those are going to provide jobs, economic opportunities, and our focus is to put those economics back onto Main Street where they belong, so that our town can continue to strive.
Thank you. So finally, we have Ms. Hunter. I hope we can hear you. You can take yourself. Yep. Okay. You have 3 minutes.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
I wish this was an easy answer. It can't be sugarcoated. Most businesses in Orange are going to need time, same as to apply for payroll protection programs. They're going to need time. Business going to get back to normal. Also, we need to repair the relationship between the Orange Chamber of Commerce and the city. After last year's problem with the Main Street redevelopment, like the threat of demolition, some businesses was upset. The city needs to enforce the same retail resolution if the business are lost. As in our resident, the grieving for relative loss due to COVID-19, we should have free counseling as soon as be coping with the loss of loved ones. We should also have a rent and mortgage assistance hotline to advise homeowners and tenants against hasty legal actions. Getting back to a promising new normal after COVID-19 won't be easy. With good management and compassion, we can do it. We can do it, Orange. We can do it. Thank you.
Thank you. And Becky, I'm turning it back over to you for the last question.
Question number 3, how would your administration encourage community-centered development that involves and includes the perspectives of Orange residents across its various demographics in order to create a more just and equitable city for all?
And I will call on Councilman Jackson. You are up first. 3 minutes.
All right, thank you so much. I think that as I talked about process, this is another process issue. We have fortunately recently adopted at least the master plan in 2018, which identified not only ideas for going forward, but the process in developing it really will provide benchmark processes so that we will be able to enter the community and consider what different parts of the community want. In developing the master plan, there were several meetings in several parts of the city, and they asked the direct question: what would you like to see in development? How would you like this to look? And what do you think you would need? And that process is something that we need to utilize more regularly in providing public service to the citizens. In thinking about the demographics and create a more just and equitable city, when it comes to developers, we should have a standard that we want them to rise to when they propose developments in Orange. Once an area is identified as a development area, the city itself should do some evaluation, some investigation in the community about what they'd like to see. And when developers come, we need to say, first let them know. We will already have an idea of what the value, the money value of the fair market value of the property is. And also we want to give them the historic perspective so that they know what the value is to the community. And so when developers come, if you remember the summits that were recently held, I think the developers were a little confused, or at least they didn't have enough knowledge about what to expect. There are certain things that each development is expected to provide for, at least to consider when coming into the community. It's issues of parking, density, how it will affect traffic, and things like that that are happening with each development. So I think the city should be more proactive to let the developers know, if you're going to come here, we need you to rise to this particular standard. This is what the citizens in your area expect. Advise them to read our master plan, advise them to go into the community themselves, get out of your cars, walk around and check out the community, and so that they have a better understanding before they come with a proposal for us to consider what the community needs. That's what I think we need to have.
Thank you. Next person be Councilwoman Williams.
Good evening.
You have 3 minutes.
Okay, and I am unmuted. So I will continue what I do now and broaden it, because my capacity will change from legislative to administrative. So as your mayor, well, let me just say real quick, as a legislator, sometime these development projects are not immediately brought to the city council, and they're coming to us to vote on. And at that point, I always ask the question. Sometimes the developers, when we're voting, are present, and sometimes they're not. But my standard question to the administration: has the developer had the opportunity to meet with the immediate community that this development is going to impact, and the citywide? And oftentimes the answer returns to me no, and various answers come up. So at that point, as a council member, as we have one table right now, I table the matter and ask the administration to go back to the community and have that discussion. And then the one that's tabled right now, it has, where we're at right now, the administration and the developer are talking to the immediate community, and then it will come back for city council for our vote, and us to weigh in. So that's very important. Developers must meet with the immediate neighbors and the city is wide to hear their vision, but more importantly, what our vision is for our town. Development must be as diverse as the community is intended to serve. All development must begin with input, as I have just previously stated, from the immediate community under consideration for that development. Right now, that's over, and just for you can kind of zone in, I'm speaking of a development specifically at Berwyn and Oakwood Avenue. Community-centered development at its best is mutually benefit to both residents and developers. First Orange must become a transparent government. There are development deals, as that have occurred, that I, as Councilwoman Williams and Councilman Jackson, may attest to, that we're not aware of. And I previously mentioned it, but it's very important for various reasons, because we have
You have 30 seconds.
I seen it, Naeema. We have great input. The citizens have great input and the developer had big ideas. And that together will begin Orange as both of us envision, but most importantly, for the people we all serve. The developers will be working for those people of the city of Orange as I work for the citizens of Orange in a servant capacity. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up we have Ms. Hunter. You have 3 minutes.
We still on, sorry, I got lost. What question, we on number 3?
Yep, question 3.
Okay, thank you. Trust, what goes both ways? First, we have to earn trust from one another. Some of my friends told me about the state hesitation in giving Orange grants because of the history, especially in the Warren administration, the past corruption, state money, like the library. The library had $50,000 grant for a literacy program that never exists. What about the why? Now it's 4 years later and still it's not open. The American Russian mindset Trump administration had burned through more grant money than ever going to know. We need to earn state and county trust back. What happened to blocks associations? Let's give trust to some of our citizens. Encourage some of our neighbors to meet each other. Attend council meetings. Inform administration about their needs and welcome new residents. Most of all, residents are jaded from talking to some city council or administration about long-time problems. Invite openness, transparency with honest answers. What about the state of our address, our city address? To the best of my knowledge, we haven't had one in the current mayor administration. Currently, that might be hard to consider with the FBI pleading about the administration. There is no substitution for good, honest conversation, but input on new direction for Orange. Think 2 terms of the Warren administration. And I say to you, let's do what we have to do. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Sorry, the next person will be Mayor Warren. You have 3 minutes.
The development in Orange has been beneficial to all sectors of our city. We've engaged in over $150 million in development. One of the things that it does is, I'm a taxpayer, I'm a homeowner. We have our family here. And part of what we want to do is make sure that we raise a tax base that's going to benefit the homeowners in the area, and then so we can develop responsible housing. In order to do that, we have across the board had public meetings in every sector of the town. I've gone door to door to make sure that the public is involved in our development process. One of the projects that we're looking at on Berwyn Street, as the councilwoman mentioned, is going to provide new and structured classrooms for our children inside of the development. It'll also have its own on-street parking. And one of the things that we got that from is because we spoke to the Oakwood Avenue community and found out what they wanted. And if you look across the community in every ward, you'll see their input in whatever development that we may have. And we have to understand legally that the development process starts with the planning board, which has its public meetings, and they advertise, and they bring people in to have hearings on what kind of development will happen in an area. After the planning board comes through, then it goes to the city council for a vote. So there's never an opportunity, or there's never an excuse to be unaware of the development in the town. Everyone should be participating in all of our public bodies. We have volunteer architects who are involved, volunteer engineers who are involved. We have a historic commission who is involved, and they have their public meetings as well. The best way to have development that is responsible to the public and to create jobs and to offset our taxes is to make sure that the public is involved, which we do each and every day. As a lawyer, we have to negotiate the agreements that we have with developers to make sure that we get some public benefit out of their development. We've done that across the board, whether it be for classrooms or jobs or parks, or starting a fund so that people who own homes can improve their homes with this fund. That is what we do with the Opportunity Fund that's coming. If you look across the city, not only will you see new development, but you'll also see people who own 1 family, 2 family, 3 and 4 family homes starting to regenerate and rehabilitate their homes to make sure that they're getting up in market. If you own property in Orange today, I'll always say keep it, because it's a hot market. And if you look at the region, you'll see our real estate values are growing because of responsible development.
Thank you.
Thank you, Naeema. Now, candidates, we are going to begin the closing statements. Each of you will have 2 minutes for your closing statements. These are your own statements, not answers to questions. And Naeema will call on you to give your 2-minute closing statement.
So first up, we have Councilman Williams. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you. And first, I want to thank you, the HUUB, and your collaborators who allowed this opportunity for me as mayor, as a candidate, and persons I'm running against, and more important, for the people that we're serving, to have this opportunity so they could hear us. So thank you very much. You have heard a lot of things tonight, but how much of it can you trust? I clearly understand the enormity of the decisions confronting us as voters, and trust is a paramount to our decision. Trust is why I decided to run for mayor and not as to run for re-election as Councilwoman Williams. Those who know me, Donna K, even my critics know that I have always been a woman of my word and a hard worker, putting you, the people of Orange, first. Trust me, we cannot move Orange forward out of COVID with unethical behavior, petty politics, wasteful spending, the issues with the FBI, all of this on our backs. You deserve a leader who can rebuild Orange, help families to thrive again, a leader who can leverage critical resources to benefit us and gain the respect and trust from Orange to the city of Orange, down to the state, and as far as possible where opportunities come. I am that leader. You know me, I've been here, and I wanted to continue to serve you. Like America, Orange deserves better. And I am asking you, please vote me, Donna K, line 3A, for your mayor. And as an instructions in the beginning, this is decided tonight up until May 12th. And that opportunity is before you because your ballot is at home.
That's time.
And do your census at the same time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next up, we will have Mayor Warren. You have 2 minutes for your closing statement.
Orange needs, am I unmuted? Orange needs experienced leadership who has fought at every level for the city of Orange Township, whether it be federal, state, county level. You need a respectful leader who will go get their voices heard. That's why we have opportunity zones. That's why we get funding for our housing. That's why our senior citizen housing is being protected right now. That's why we got more funding for our schools. That is why we're able to build a second high school and a STEM school. That's why we're able to have programs, because I've gone to fight for Orange and will continue to do so. This pandemic has turned life around for everybody across the globe, but yet we stood up to make sure that our people here in Orange have been fed, have been nourished, have had psychological counseling, and have had important information. I do want to take time away from my personal presentation and just give some information. One, if you don't have food, please contact 973-280-1621. If you need assistance, that's the mayor's hotline. You may call it at any time. The legal help desk is open. If you have problems with your housing, with your job, transportation, any kind of question that you're dealing with legally, you may contact 973-640-3526. in any question that you might have. And I've fielded questions across the board since this pandemic because I'm personally involved in making sure that we recover. You can always contact me, Mayor Warren, at 862-373-0025. Remember, together we can beat the coronavirus. Together, Orange is going to emerge and grow and prosper. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Shawn Hunter.
Okay. Hi, citizen of Orange. My mom told me when evil people concentrate on good work, you're a threat. We're a threat to end all of the families and friends, high paychecks, late budget, questionable and self-purchase on your tax dollars. For everything that Orange can be, we need each other. I will be a mayor who will remember that my salary, my benefits comes from you, and that I answer to you and will not avoid you. That comes with a sense of reality that 8 years issue won't get fixed in a quick 4 years of the Hunter administration. But we can start here. Now is the time we need each other. I can't do this alone. I'm the only candidate with 30 years experience in finance. Please continue to mail in those thousands of votes for Shawn Hunter, because we need to finally create a fresh transparency to move Orange into a new direction. Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, we have Mr. Jackson. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Naeema. Everyone, this is Councilman at Large, Christopher Jackson. I'm getting ready to finish my 4th year as I've honorably served, never having missed a meeting. I love being a councilman at large, and believe me, it's going to be difficult for me to leave municipal government if not elected mayor for the city of Orange Township. As I said, not only am I an Orange native, not only did I attend Orange Public Schools, but I have a technical degree in electronics, so I know about fixing broken things. I have a Juris Doctor degree, so I know about tackling complex issues and considering both sides of an issue. As a municipal mediator, I understand that sometimes the truth is what will resolve all issues if people come honestly to the table about what needs to be done. As the mayor of Orange, I would make sure that not only that we would bring integrity to the position, but I would be an example of someone who works long hours and represents Orange in the best way possible. As a veteran, I know what it is to create a team that can overcome great odds. My experience may not be what everybody else's, but all experience isn't beneficial to Orange, as we've seen some that results in a shadow over our town due to unlawful activity. That's never a good thing. I promise that I won't be doing that kind of thing, and I will bring a hard worker that loves Orange and integrity. Please vote for me on line 4A, Christopher Jackson, Councilman at Large, soon to be Mayor of Orange Township. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your closing statements to all of the candidates who are here. Thank you very much for spending time and giving the voters a chance to hear what's on your mind and how you would provide leadership here in the city of Orange if you were elected. The other thank you would be to our audience for spending time to learn more about the candidates that were part of the forum this evening. Another time to remind you, you have your mail-in ballot at home. It's a little different than usual. Usually you have to ask for the mail-in ballot. This time, because of the pandemic, the county clerk sent the ballots directly to you. All you have to do is think on the candidates that you've heard tonight and make your decision, make your choice, and mail that ballot back by May the 12th. So thank you again to our co-sponsors for putting the program together, the HUUB, University of Orange, and Radical Orange. We will continue to work in the community with all of you, and whatever we can do to further the progress of Orange, you can count on each of those organizations to be a part of it. It's been a pleasure, Naeema, being co-moderator
Yeah.
this evening.
Yeah, thank you.
Certainly
Yeah, it's been great.
breakfast.
Yeah.
And we hope that the election goes well, the mail-in ballots will work, and we will know who will be leading the city of Orange in the future. So
Yeah.
Naeema, do you have some words to?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to everyone who joined, all the candidates for spending time with us and giving us your best honest answers as you could. We think our audience will really appreciate this and believe Charlie will be sending you the links to the recording once we have it, and you can share it with your audience as well. So thank you again, and it's been a pleasure.
And just for your information, there are 6 candidates who are running. 4 of them are here this evening, so you've had a chance to see and hear from 4 of those 6 candidates. So thank you all. Just remember our admonition from our health professionals. Stay at home as much as you can. Wash your hands and keep a distance. Wear your masks, your face coverings in public, and hope all of you keep well. Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Thank you. Charlie, do we need to log off now, or do you need us to stay on?
I got it. Thank you all for being here tonight. Really appreciate it. Apologies for the technical difficulties. Yeah, we'll be able to share the better recording, and we'll be able to send you all questions that we're receiving in the Facebook comment section. So thank you for bearing with us, and we really appreciate you all spending the time, candidates and constituents. We appreciate it, and we'll see you guys around.
Thank you, everyone. Stay
Thank
safe.
you.
Peace and
Stay
strength.
safe. Bye-bye.